Eric. There we go. We figured out technology.
I wasn't sure if I was going to figure it out that quick.
You got it. So that's good. That's good. And we've got quite a few people already logged on, so that's great. I see you're sporting a new look for Corona times here, Eric.
It's the COVID beard and mustache, the lack of
Yeah,
haircut for the last three
I
months. But
know. Soon it's going to open, right? It's got to.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I won't shave. Maybe it might be
You're going to keep
my
it.
new my
Good, good.
first time.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you?
So I know we're only a couple of towns away here in New Jersey, but it'll be interesting to see what opens for Memorial Day weekend.
I can't wait.
I know, I know. We won't
Hopefully,
have pools open though, unfortunately.
do you have a pool? I don't. I'll come to you.
Pool club. You want to come over to the pool club? It won't be open, I think, until end of June.
Right.
So anyway, well, I want to welcome you to our little Instagram live chats that we've been doing. And
Thank you.
it's just a time for us to touch base and catch up because everybody's off kind of doing their own thing. And, would like to really get an update from you on Vidalia. I was happy that one of the trips that I was able to get in the first 3 months of this year was actually my first trip of 2020 was to go see you at Vidalia. And that was quite a road trip with our friends, my colleagues with Michael Kinnamont going and David Atkins and Victor Almeida. And, we've kind of always been thinking that you've got to have feet on the ground in order to understand a business. And I'm wondering how much all of that will change. So, but why don't we kick it off? And if you could give us an update on Vidalia.
Yeah, when you were there, we're still in the startup phase, but we're slowly moving into production phase. We're currently spinning open end yarn, quite a bit of it actually. We delivered our first two truckloads this week, and we are weaving on X3 looms. So
Wow.
yeah, so we're making big progress.
Yeah.
So our opening line, our carding line, everything is up and running. We have a ton of cotton in house. And it's really exciting to start to see the whole process from the cotton coming in to denim going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made a lot of progress since you were there. Although we were shut down for the last, let's say, 9 weeks, we had a few people in house, mechanics, basically getting some equipment going. Um, yeah, so it's we're constantly evolving the floor plan. And
Right.
with that said, one of the things that we've done is gone into PPE, personal protective equipment, which half of our industry has, if not more than that at this point.
Yeah.
We've done the deep dive on it, and I don't know if you saw our press release last week, but we actually went out and bought equipment to make masks.
I
What do we?
did, and that was the part of what spurred me on to think of asking you and inviting you to come here today was that I did see that press release. And you're right, everybody's trying to pitch in their own way. So what are you working on with that particular program?
We are going to be making the N95 masks. We bought
Mhm.
equipment. Physically, we're going to be bringing in equipment into a room up on the loft in our space. We have 1.2 million square feet, so we have plenty of room.
Yeah.
But three mask machines, and two of them are going to be making N95 masks, and one is going to be making what's called the duckbill, which is the surgical
Oh,
mask.
okay.
And yeah, it's exciting. We really want to find a way to help out and give back and be a domestic source for all things good, which is helping out the community, whether the masks stay in Louisiana, I believe some of them are going to California, and maybe even some in New York as well. So
Great. Yeah.
it's exciting. We
What?
didn't know anything about it. We just, literally, we knew nothing about this, about 10 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
started, and we got our heads together and said, how are we going to do this? How can we help? We have resources, we have space, and let's go, let's do it. And sure enough, it's exciting. We all love learning and being in our manufacturing business. We just kind of put our heads together, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting.
Good, good. Well, that's just it. So many companies have had to pivot very quickly during this time to see what they can do. Oops, that's my backyard. Sorry about that. There we go. I was hitting something and the camera moved. And, I think that's where showing your flexibility, even being such a young company in the market, is so important. And it's great that you see that you've already have some buyers for the masks already.
Oh,
So it's good.
we're also going to be making fabric for gowns, for disposable, or not disposable, excuse me, for washable gowns.
Okay.
So we're going to be weaving the fabric with our cotton that we're spinning in-house, the E3 cotton. We're going to be bringing that over to our looms and spinning some 4.5 ounce cotton for disposable gowns, or excuse me, I just said again, for washable gowns.
Washable gowns.
Yeah.
And who's gonna make the gowns?
We are in the process of figuring it out. We're probably going to sell them in-house.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely one thing that impressed me when I visited you in January was definitely that you are not having a lack of space.
No.
I think you could start a couple of roller skating rinks there. Yeah, and the extra warehouse space that you do have. And it's wonderful because anything that we do in New York, the issue is space, and you don't have that.
No, we have a massive amount of space for cotton storage, for indigo dye range, finishing range, laundry. We have a big announcement coming out next week with a laundry partner that we're really, really excited about.
No, no hints. You can't give us any hints, Eric. Sounds like, rhymes with, begins with.
How
Come
do you
on.
forget? Can't do that. No, it's exciting. We actually have two big announcements coming out in the next few weeks about the mill. One is about a scalable cut and sew partner
Okay.
that we do, and another one is about a laundry partner. So a lot of strategic conversations going on at this point because part of being in the United States and that is being flexible and being nimble and being able, as you referred to, to pivot with change. So there's a lot of things going on with cut and sew, maybe even for the PPE, but we're going to have a full cut and sew facility as big as 60,000 square feet right under our roof. So, the
Wow.
whole strategy of Adalia is to have the entire supply chain under one roof.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're literally bringing in cotton fiber and we're going through the entire process, including cut and sew and laundry. And we're
Right.
a 3PL for brands, third-party logistics to ship. Because our whole strategy is we're going to talk sustainability, we're going to live up to our sustainability claims, and what we want to do is if we have a customer that orders 5,000 jeans and that customer's in California, we don't want to take the jeans from Louisiana, ship them to California when the end user could be in New York.
Right.
So
Right.
we're offering a 3PL option. So fiber comes in one end, we spin it, we weave it, we dye it, and cut and sew, laundry, and ship.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, when you showed us the diagram of your vision, I thought it was, really very progressive. It made so much sense. And I think even through all this time, it's even more. Why don't you explain a little bit more what 3PL is?
yeah, third-party logistics, just a shipping service.
Right.
It's if you're a direct consumer brand, you could just send us your orders. We'll warehouse the goods and ship them directly to your consumer.
Right.
Our facility. So third-party logistics. It's the way that most smaller brands work.
Yeah.
Small to
Yeah.
medium, actually say even. And our what's interesting about it, our facility, the building that you were in, was a distribution center for Fruit of the Loom.
Right.
So that's what it was. So we actually kept on. His name was Derek. I don't know if you looked at our video where you met Derek when you were
I
there.
met Derek. Yeah.
Derek ran it when it was Fruit of the Loom, and Derek continues to run our facility now. He's our plant manager. So when we went to Derek and we said we want to ship out of here, he's like, well, we used to ship a million cartons a week out of here, so no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this time really hasn't slowed you down at all because you got into PPE, you've got a couple of announcements coming out.
Right.
So it really kind of just gave you more of time to focus on it, right?
Yeah, but it slows down with some equipment deliveries, no doubt.
Yeah.
We're waiting on equipment deliveries from all around the world still, and that came to a screeching halt.
Right.
Set us back, as much as 2 to 3 months on some of those things, because now even when they open up again, there's a shipping issues and back up in some production for some equipment that we've been waiting on. But we're in good shape. It's really exciting. We're getting a tremendous amount of interest from the industry. I got to tell you, Tricia, tremendous
Right.
amount.
Well, I loved your wall of names that people sign. That was very nice. You did your tour, I mean, how will you invite people then the second half of this year? Will you try to do another mill open house?
Interesting. We had actually had a meeting about that today, and we would love to. It was our original strategy, and with the current situation, we think it probably won't happen. We're going to do something virtual
Yeah.
because what
Good.
we want to do is
Yeah.
we want to involve people in the mill. We want to teach. We want to learn from brands. We want to teach brands. We want it to be like a virtual playground for people in the not only the denim but the fashion business. We're going to be making other things other than just denim.
Right.
People to come in. We want to show them around. We want to share what we have. We're really proud of what we've built.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a good point that, I didn't realize, and I think a lot of people in the industry don't realize, is that you are doing more than just denim, and that you want to also work with yarn as a yarn supplier, as well as with the home market. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, we have a tremendous amount of spinning, both open end and ring. So we're actually supplying home furnishings, towel industry, sheeting. We're working with shirting weight fabrics. We're bringing well, we already have the Draper X3s that you saw running,
Right.
and then we're bringing 30 Peak and All President shuttle looms as well, which we'll have in house in the next 60 days. So those are coming from Europe, so that's going to be more shuttle looms. And then we have our Peak and All Raper looms, which are brand new, 40 of them. So we could make a really nice range of fabrics, from novelty fabrics to this 4 ounce that we're making for PPE, all the way up to a heavyweight denim. And we don't want to be just denim. We're a resource for product development. We
Right.
have opening this. I think I told you about this product development center, which is one of our other announcements that I could touch on a little bit right now. But we're opening a product development center for the industry, and we're going to offer the industry the opportunity to come in and physically have a space within our space.
Yeah.
So, and some brands are even reaching out. They want to have employees, full-time employees within our four walls, so they could use our cut and sew facility to do their fittings and their and samples. They could use our laundry to do all the different processes. We're going to have the most advanced laundry in the world in there. But then they could also try out different fibers and do different experiments with us with our spinning.
Right.
And then our dye range, with having the unique opportunity of having everything under one roof. I don't know of anybody else that's doing it that way, where we're bringing in fiber. And by the way, our fiber all comes from within 400 miles of our plant.
Yeah.
So it's all U.S. fiber. It's coming. It's all local to some 400 miles. So our whole carbon footprint is literally going to be within our walls.
Right. Well, and that's definitely one aspect that's come out of everything with the pandemic, is how can we, source within our region.
Yep.
And I think you're offering such a great solution to that. And it's wonderful to hear that you continue to get a lot of interest from the brands. I know it's a touchy time for many of them as they try to shuffle around, but I think this is where it's really your time to shine.
Great.
And so have you had to adjust any of your strategy because of this, or?
We're really getting a lot of interest because of speed to market.
Yeah.
People want speed to market. They want to be able to make changes. They want to be flexible. They want to be nimble, and they want to be scalable, meaning that they could develop something with us in house, and we could develop something in a matter of a few weeks because we have our supply chain. And then if they want to scale it, we're going to be, this is what I was saying, we're going to announce a scalable partner. We're going to be able to manufacture in our hemisphere, but at much higher volumes. So that's one of the things where we've kind of changed a little bit, because brands are going to be able to come to us and test. They're going to be able to come to us and get a product in the market really quickly, and then scale it up in a way that would be substantial.
Right.
What we realized in all the phone calls that I've been getting, all the reach outs over the last, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks, brands don't want to write huge POs. They don't want to project out, 18 months anymore, Trish. They just don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Gun shy. They're saying, can we do smaller POs? Our MOQ, minimum order quantity, is quite small considering everything. And I got to tell you, our prices are going to really surprise people. What we can do because of our setup.
Right.
So we haven't really changed so much from our original focus, but the industry, I feel, has changed a lot. Now many, many, many brands are looking at us and saying, okay, now we get it. This is all making sense. So our timing, although a lot of it is luck, but our timing is really working out for us. And it's really, as you said, it's really our time to shine.
Yeah.
We're sustainable, and we've always been sustainable since day one. And sustainability is the most important thing for us. So we're sustainable, we're creative. We believe we're going to have the most creative team that we've put together, that Dan has put together, who's the principal, and our speed to market. It's really our three pillars of really getting the job done in a way that we're really proud of.
Yeah. And so when I was there was some selvage denim that was weaving at the time, and I see a question here about what your current MOQ is. Maybe you could just reference on the selvage.
It really depends on for selvage. For production, we're saying 500 yards. But we're hoping not to get that many of those. But we do want to work with some of the smaller customers.
Yeah.
A lot to offer, from your creativity end and content, as far as social media things. So we want to work with the small guys. And I was a small guy. I had a brand.
Yeah.
My shop. So I know what it's like to be a small brand and try to battle through, big MOQs and production where you're paying more. We're really trying to get around that. We want to treat the little guys with kid gloves and help them turn into big guys. Help them turn into financial players.
Right.
Because,
and it's not always about the size. It's, I think we've always been on this growth, and that's the only way to be successful. And I think what you're offering is it can be innovation and the value that you can have in a garment in order to have that longevity in the market and be successful. And let's bring the treasures back and bring back manufacturing to the United States.
Yeah. And listen, the bottom line is we want to be like a craft brewer of the denim business. We don't want to be, that's not our goal.
Right.
All in, we're only going to make about 7 million yards.
Right.
We hope to sell a lot of yarn, or we are selling a lot of yarn. We're going to continue to. And between the yarn, the product development, and our laundry, by the way, another thing that's really important to say is our cut and sew and our laundry are not limited to our fabrics.
Right.
Any open market fabric that somebody wants to run, because they want to use our facility and our laundry, we're open to it. So it's another way of servicing the business.
Right. No, for sure. When I visited, I was very impressed with the team that Dan built, including you, including Rob, Bob. And so tell us a little bit more about the people who are a part of this core team at Vidalia.
Yeah, obviously we have Dan Fibers who started. He's the principal. He's the one who had this crazy idea a long time ago that we are all madly in love with now. And then Bob Andishak has a history in trade policy, in cotton, in management. So he's an amazing addition to the team. And I wouldn't have been on without Bob. And then I came on. I have 30 years of history in denim and manufacturing and jeans. And then we have Fernando Arguelles, who's the yarn. So Fernando's my counterpart for yarn. And Fernando also has 30 years in manufacturing knits and selling yarn throughout the world. So he's, has a tremendous amount of knowledge and contacts. And then we have Gokman Kalik, who runs the facility. He came out of Orta. So Gokman came in with a tremendous amount of manufacturing experience. He's a great part of the team. And Dale Jinjo worked at Polo and Gap running laundries, product development.
Yeah.
So and that's just touching the surface. Honestly, we have so many talented people throughout our facility that are part of the day-to-day of the running of the machine, setting up. We have Nick, we have Derek, we have all these really strong players, and that's what's getting us through this. Listen, it's an enormous challenge.
Right.
So like most places either set up a laundry, or you set up a cut and sew, or you set up spinning. We're trying to do it all at one time. It's an enormous challenge. Yeah.
No, huge. What you're tackling, you almost walk away from it saying these guys are a little crazy. Yeah. But I think overall it's definitely the right direction. And also I was very impressed with the partners that you are starting to work with. Maybe if you could highlight, that E3 is a part of working with Vidalia.
Yeah, E3 is a critical part. We are 100% E3 cotton. So all the cotton coming into our facility is going to be E3 sustainable local cotton, like I referred to earlier. It's all coming from within 400 miles of our facility. So having them on board with their ability to make sustainable cotton and connect us to the farmers. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with one of the biggest brands, and we brought farmers into our facility. and they were actually enamored to meet the farmers, and the farmers were enamored to meet the people from a workwear brand,
Yeah.
from a U.S. made workwear brand. So we're really, tying the entire supply chain together, which is it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. We do a lot of business with you in the future. We're going to set that whole thing up once we get going.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, our plant in Mobile, is also within what, 4 hours,
Yep.
5 hours. So again, when you look at your footprint, it's incredible that we could make all of this connection.
Right. Right. Which I think we're really due for in the United States right now. A lot of stuff was in LA. A lot of the denim stuff is moving out of LA now
Yeah.
for license, for water and electric is really expensive. Hourly rate is really expensive, and you move it more towards where we are in the Louisiana, Mississippi area. And there's a lot of people there looking for work.
Yeah.
So part of our sustainable model is also we're paying almost double minimum wage for everybody, and every single employee gets health care,
Right.
which coming out of Vidalia, Louisiana, that wasn't like that before. It was unheard of.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's just it. It's not only the environmental footprint, but when you can have, a positive social impact, I think that just, adds to the story. And one thing that impressed me was the support that you had from the local and state government. Maybe just highlight a little bit about how all that came together.
yeah, they've been very involved with our facility, the local government. I mean, the mayor's in our plant all the time, walking around and showing it off. It's proud. It's a proud point. You're in a tiny little town. They had this massive building that was vacant. That the state actually helped us acquire, so we could take this building if we hired a certain amount of people. I think the number is it's somewhere around if we need to have 300 employees. Right now we're up at about 120 employees. We need to have 300 employees in the next 20 months, and
Okay.
we're on target for that. There's no doubt we're on target for that. But the state has been amazing to us. The local community has just been unbelievably supportive for us, and for any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Um, they realize what we're bringing to town. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
bringing jobs. We're filling up hotel rooms. We're filling up restaurants. People that come to visit, and it's a very welcome change in this world right now,
Yeah.
especially when it's so negative. There's a lot of negativity going on, and it's a tough mindset. And I think there's so much opportunity in our industry right now. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of opportunity.
No, I mean, this is definitely the catalyst for change and to reset. And from your experience in retail, and Eric, you've worked with large brands from Gap to you've had your own retail store in New York City. I mean, how do you see what will be the biggest change for us at retail?
Retail will never be the same, unfortunately. I spent 15 years owning my own brand and my own stores. It was a challenge then in New York City, but now it's going to be much more of a challenge. I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of the future is direct to consumer.
Yeah.
I think it's massively important to have a really strong direct to consumer. I'm really anxious to see what's going to happen, but I was paying over $30,000 for 800 square feet, and
Really?
yeah, and
30,000.
it's impossible to make ends meet when you're trying to sell jeans. But we had an amazing little brand. We're really passionate about it. But retail is just it's going to be a different animal going forward. And I think it's going to be small to medium brands will have a little bit of an easier time. That'll be more nimble and not going to put out these massive POs. I think we're going to see more people producing to order.
Yeah.
Go ahead and buy it. And we'll ship it in 6 weeks because
Right.
I've heard a lot of that already from denim brands. They're going to give me a PO, and they're launching a product now and give me a PO in 3 weeks once they get all the orders in.
Right.
Shipping because it's less risky that way. They think now with the internet, people are okay with getting something in 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, we've kind of had to adjust to slower times. We were so used to Amazon in, 24, 48 hours, especially being in New York,
Right.
that now I'm kind of like, all right, so I do have to wait 2 weeks. And you plan for that, and it's the mindset. But I've noticed a couple more brands on the, producing based on demand.
Right.
There's one out of Canada, Dish and Doer. They launched a new program on kind of, that crowd production side.
That's
And I think that, it comes back to you just have to think of the process differently and have the right fabrics that can work to have that flexibility. And this could be, again, another great way for Vidalia in the future.
Yeah, currently we're making, let's see, we're going to have 6 different fabrics starting out. So we're going to have um, black with natural fill, black with a black fill, and both in a 12 and 14 ounce. And then a 14 ounce with 27% indigo and a 14 ounce 17% indigo, and then a 12 ounce as well. So yeah, like you just said, you don't have to have a lot. You don't have to have a lot of fabrics. We're not going to, I really, and that goes back to the sustainability initiative as well.
Right, right.
And I was actually listening to one of these sessions a few weeks ago with the mills, and one of the things that came up was, we don't have to be everything to everybody. You don't have to try to produce every fabric that somebody wants, because it's
Yeah,
not sustainable to do that.
right.
So yeah, so we're going to be really focused.
That's great. One thing out of this whole past couple of months is that if you look at what is selling at retail, what consumers are looking to buy is more on activewear. And with
Yeah.
your experience in denim, do you think we're going to be back in another one of these cycles of we're up against the legging again? Or, we kind of went through that when Lululemon was coming on and getting hot.
Yep.
Will we be back in that cycle?
I think we will be, and I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm sitting here on my desk wearing a pair of jeans,
I
but
am too. Yes.
People are when
Yeah.
they're at, and as you know, there's going to be a lot more work at home and Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Um, Comfort, and a lot of the brands I speak to now say their business is really strong for sweatshirts, for t-shirts, and sweatpants, and elastic waistband pants, not necessarily jeans. It's going to be a battle again. I think. I really do. Even
Yeah.
with comfort stretch, I think we're going to get back in that bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I think people have gotten really laxed. I know I kind of miss getting dressed up and being on, at a show, at work, whatever. And I think, yeah, it will be back to kind of promoting this comfort aspect that we have in denim
Right.
for sure. So,
Sustainability part for that, because I believe we're a lot more sustainable than some of the other products that are in the market.
yes, yes. And that goes back to, stretch. And I see there's a comment here on biodegradability of stretch, which is an issue that exists in the market. So how do we keep the attention on all the benefits of using denim in different designs?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, great. So we're heading into Memorial Day weekend, Eric. What are you doing to celebrate? Anything?
Not a lot of options, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Right. It kind of locked down here in Jersey.
I know. Do you have the family at home? How
Yeah.
many?
I have both 4 of my kids here, which
Okay.
are 18 to 24. So they're
Okay.
all here. 2 dogs. My one son has a dog that he brought home from the city, and we have our own dog. So it's a little crazy here, but it's fun. There's never a quiet or dull moment because there's always boyfriends and girlfriends coming. But yes, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out
That's
here.
good.
Go to the beach, but I'm not ready for that yet with the craziness that's going to happen this week.
Yeah, I'm not ready for the beach either. Hope to get out to a park and get a lot of outdoor time after being on a lot of calls this week. So, but it's been wonderful to catch up with you, Eric. I
Likewise.
wish you the best with Vidalia. I know we'll be in touch on your new announcements. Maybe afterwards I'll send you some guesses. But I think it's wonderful at this time. We need to keep news and keep going forward. And glad to hear that Vidalia didn't miss a beat through this time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks,
Sure.
everyone. Have a great weekend. Oh, I'm going to sign off with my Tencel mini jean. This is actually from the white oak fabric, and you now have some of those looms. So signing off. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.